Hi guys, this is Future Jack during editing, and I just want to make you guys aware before the actual podcast starts. We had quite a lot of problems with this episode, some our own problems, others out of our hands. Discord went down completely by the end of it, which is why it's such an abrupt end, so I just want to warn you of that. And yeah, our internet kept cutting in and out. I'm not entirely sure whether that was our internet or whether that was just Discord being funny as it was towards the end of it. But yeah, just wanted to make you guys aware there's a lot of sound problems in this one, and I can only apologise for that. Like I say, it's out of our control. When the government let us record together, which I think technically we can, it's just unfortunately we can't find the time to just yet. When we can record together, we will try to because this will help eliminate all of these problems. But yeah, sorry about the problems with the episode this week. Hope you guys enjoy it, and let's crack on with the podcast. Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Answers podcast. I'm your host, Miamaja53, joined as ever by my wonderful co-host, Joebot22.
Hello, hello, hello.
Very
Very
camp.
it was more camp than last week. I think we hit.
It was actually. You're just going to slowly turn up the levels of camp each week until you just sound like a drag queen. Which, of
I'll
course,
be on
there's nothing
RuPaul's.
wrong with.
Fucking RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah, get Joe on RuPaul. But yes, today is a very special episode of the WAP, as it's our 10th episode in chronological order, at least. Because, I mean, we did the special episode.
Chronological order, like it's a
Well,
fucking
like,
story.
yeah, well, like if you think about it, the WrestleMania episodes, they're like they're a side story. So if you think of the main
Right.
line episodes,
They're the TV special to
yeah,
our
exactly,
Star Wars.
exactly. Like these are the full cinematic releases. But yes, today is a very special episode of the Wrestling Answers podcast, uh, being our 10th episode, our first venture into double figures. Um, we'll have a very special segment at the end of the show, but you'll just have to wait for that because I don't want to spoil it now, and also viewer retention. Ha 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 ha. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
I think looking at our lineup, we've got a decent showing of stuff. So let's just crack on, shall we? And our first topic of the week: retirement speeches in wrestling, obviously. So you've got loads and loads of examples here. Edge, Daniel Bryan. Um, okay, I can only think of those two off the top of my head. I know there are more. Um, I just can't think of them. But yeah, little cheeky little retirement speech in wrestling. What do you think about it, Mr. Joseph?
Oh, you gotta love them, don't you? They always tug on the heartstrings. You're always crying. Oh God, they're brilliant. They just are. Um, the one that always comes to mind. For me anyway, it wasn't really a retirement speech, but Mark Henry. Um, I love that, but that was totally unexpected. They were building it up all the way through the show, and then he just body slammed Cena. Um,
Yeah, that's that's
it,
that's
it,
that's another example of a
it
well,
was a really good one.
yeah, I
But in
think
terms of
that's
actual retirement speeches, my favorite one, oh, uh, Paige do one. Am I right in saying, or was that something else?
uh I think I think she did, yeah. I think she came out and she
I
did
really,
one, yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, because it was on the Raw after WrestleMania 34, and then on the SmackDown a couple days later she became the SmackDown GM.
But yeah, so yeah, overall, I don't think there's ever been a bad retirement speech. Because the people who are bad at doing promos won't really get a retirement speech. Because you can't go far and you can't do good promo. Um, so but yeah, they're always good.
Yeah, you see that. You can go pretty
Well,
far without being able to cut a good promo. I mean, look at Roman
Braun
Reigns
Strowman, but
yeah, look at Roman Reigns for
yeah,
most of his career, or Braun Strowman,
that is true. But
or
yeah,
Seth
pretty
Rollins.
much.
Bit of Seth
Well,
slander. Good for the
yeah, actually,
cause. Don't like Seth Rollins' promos, but this isn't about Seth Rollins. This is about retirement speeches.
yeah, got it. Well, I think I've said my piece really. I don't really hate them. There's nothing to
Mm,
hate because they're always good.
mm.
So
Well, it's very hard to think of like a bad example for a wrestling retirement because wrestling retirement speeches are usually reserved for the big name draws. So
exactly.
Edge, Bryan. Mark Henry is an exception to this. Page, I guess you can make an argument as an exception as well. But Mark Henry's was used for storyline purpose, and Page, I think it's one of them where WWE still wanted to keep her on television, so they
Yeah,
used the retirement as a way to transition into another television role, which is fair enough. But
yeah,
yeah, retirement speeches. The example that always pops into my head is Edge, the night after WrestleMania 27, I think it is, or like the week after, where he comes out, he pretty much just starts crying in the ring 'cause he's a little bitch. Um, there's a lot like that, you know. I think Ric Flair had one as well after WrestleMania 24.
yeah. He did, didn't
He was crying. I mean, of course, it's Ric Flair. Of course, he was crying.
he? Woo!
It does a sad woo. It woo.
Woo!
Sounds like Zack Ryder. Woo
That,
woo woo.
that right.
Imagine that. Ric
Woo!
Flair comes out, he does the woo, and then Zack Ryder's entrance theme hit at the same time.
I think we all
Ooh.
know Ric Flair's best quote is "Kill yourself, woo," which
Oh,
he said to Becky Lynch,
he
of
did,
course.
yeah. I mean, whenever I think of Ric Flair now, all I think of is A, him in Ric Flair Drip, which that song is partially stuck in my head. But also in TNA, in his sort of feud with Jay Lethal,
Yeah,
in possibly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, promo segments I think I've ever seen in wrestling, with the woo off. Good lord,
woo!
I love. Stop that! You can't do me. You can't be me. No, it's great. I love it. It's good stuff, mate. Anyway,
But
enough talking about Ric Flair. As much as I love Ric Flair,
you say your
pardon.
oh,
Anyway, what I
sorry,
I didn't hear
sorry.
what you. No, I didn't
Where
hear what
are
you
we?
said. I didn't hear
Oh,
what you said.
I said you say your piece.
Oh right, yeah.
But I'm trying to be quiet. It is very late at night. Well, not late, but
I was gonna say it's not late when we are recording. Obviously, to give the viewers a
it's
bit of
late in a
context.
household of children.
Yeah, to give
It makes me sound like
context
an orphan.
to our many viewers, of course. Um, it is a lot later. We're recording this a lot
Yeah,
later than we would normally because we've both been quite busy today. But
the hustle never stops, the grind never ends,
Exactly.
and the WAP will go on. My WAP will go on, like Celine
Well,
Dion. Anyway, uh, yeah, I think of some of the best retirement speeches. I think of Edge, I think of Bryan, Flair as well. And I think, especially with Bryan and Edge, you can look back on them and see how much has changed. You use Edge as a prime example. Edge having to retire due to something out of his control. He suffered all them neck injuries to the point where it's like his neck would fucking shatter into a million pieces if he took one more back bump or something. But you compare like how he was then, and then compare that to when he returned at the Royal Rumble. I want to say 2020. The you can tell just like the look on his face as he comes out. He's completely overwhelmed by what's happening. And his return is, I would say, this is a bold claim, but I would say it's one of the top three Rumble returns.
wait, who's this? Sorry, Edge.
Edge, yeah, Rumble 2020
Yeah.
when he came back. I think it's like top
Chill.
three. I
Even
think,
Royal Rumble 2010,
yeah, even then,
was
he's had two
pretty
like big ones. I think
pretty good.
the only ones you could maybe make a claim go higher, Cena in '08 when he comes back from his bicep tear like 4 months early, and I want to say Rey Mysterio at the Rumble 2018. Perhaps because the Rumble 2018, like the Rumble match was a lot better than the 2020 match. But I think when Ray came back, that was when you realised business was, it was kicking on. But yeah, going back to Edge, you compare his Rumble return to how he was like in his retirement promo, and it's like chalk and cheese. There's a big difference in the way he carried himself. Probably because obviously, like at this point, he's been fighting for 10 years to get cleared to come back in the ring, and he gets it, and he gets to make his dream a reality. I suppose same thing with Daniel Bryan when he was cleared to come back. It was a bit like his dream again became reality. And I think that was part of his promos. Is like you turn your dreams into realities, blah blah. But retirement speeches usually they get all the big people from their past out, right? You think of Ric Flair. Ric Flair got everybody out for his. I think I think they did something for Hogan as well when he like 100% officially retired. He came back to the WWE. I believe they did something for him where they had like Paul Orndorff come out and stuff. It was really
Think
strange,
so.
but yeah, it was really strange. But I feel like retirement speeches are the one thing in wrestling where I wouldn't say yeah I like them some of the time, because I think a retirement speech, as long as it's a legitimate like genuine retirement speech. I mean, obviously, you got Mark Henry as a prime example of how you could like fake one, but I think it was sort of a one off because nobody expected it. But you think of a genuine thing. I think it's very hard to say that they're bad or that they take away from the show, because if anything, it's giving a big send off to usually a big player in the wrestling industry.
Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah. Um, believe that's sort of the way it is, really, because obviously you
Yeah.
want them going out where people are like, yeah, let's honor this person. Obviously, the more people you have, then memorable it is, really. But yeah, that's, I think that's really good to say.
Oh, we're back. Sorry, there was just a bit of a connection issue there. Because obviously
What
we
happened there?
record this. Just connection issues, mate.
Oh yeah, I lost all audio.
Hmm. Like I say, my internet packed in for a minute. But
Oh,
yeah, we record this over Discord. If you couldn't tell, so there's sometimes you're gonna get little problems like that, unfortunately. But yeah, back to what we were saying. I think I summed up everything for the. I think we summed up everything for retirement speeches, didn't we? I'll take that as a yes.
yeah. But can you not? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you again now, mate. Don't worry.
I did say yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
But talking of retirement speeches, uh, as I said earlier, one of the most famous ones in modern WWE is Daniel Bryan, and Daniel Bryan recently lost a loser leaves town match on SmackDown to Roman Reigns, which meant that he left SmackDown for forever. But what we didn't know going into the match was that the reason for this was because his WWE contract has expired. So now I think he does still have a 60-day no compete clause or something. But once the no compete clause is over, Daniel Bryan is free to do whatever, you know? He could go be a car mechanic if he wanted. But the question, or the second topic here, I pose a question to Joe here. What will Daniel Bryan do next, do you think?
if I'm being honest, I think is it for Daniel Bryan in terms of wrestling. I think he's going to be he's just going to be a father to his children and eat all the vegan sausage rolls that he can. Um, 'Cause I think he's earned the respect of the WWE universe. He can. I think he'll just make the occasional Rumble appearance, and then that'll be it really. 'Cause I don't think he'll go to AEW because that's not really his thing. Um, I reckon if he was to go to wrestling, I reckon maybe like New Japan, one of the more uh technical ones, you know, where they show off more technical wrestling. I know AEW does that more than WWE, but they're still going for like more of the storyline based stuff. Um, but no, so I reckon Daniel Bryan will probably just hang up the wrestling boots at this stage because I feel like he's just gonna be. Well, I think just until his kids are old enough as to where they don't as much, I suppose.
Hmm.
Maybe then he'll get into another promotion, but that's what I think personally.
I think you've had a. I think I think what you've said is probably it's a good likelihood of it happening. However, I think Brian, he, I think he's too closely tied into wrestling that he would just retire now. He fought for
Yeah,
what was it, like 2.5 years almost to be able to get back in the ring. and then he's in WWE, has a goodish run for 3 years, and then he just retires straight away. I can't see that happening. I think the most likely thing is he goes over to Japan for a while, wrestles all of the big guys in Japan, and then probably comes back over to the West and works with AEW for a bit. And then I could see him probably starting his own promotion. Like,
The
I
the
just
only
I
problem with
can't
that is
see
it,
Daniel Bryan choosing to retire, because the one constant with Bryan is that unless he's out injured, he's always wrestling. Week in, week out. The guy's like 40 now, and he's still wrestling week in, week out for WWE. I've read his biography a while ago. Obviously, this was written a long, long time ago now. It's like 5 years old. But I think a lot of the statements he makes in it ring true. And one of the ones he makes is that he would never choose to retire from wrestling, which I always thought was incredibly ironic. But, the will of the man managed to persevere through and get to the point where he could return. He didn't have to stay retired. But I think for him, he could never stay retired. He's done that before. I don't think he would ever go back to that. I don't think he would ever go back to being retired. He's not going to. He's not going to just hang up the boots for a bit yet, because I think the point of be with his kids and stuff. I think if he's working, like indie dates, for example, he could very easily do 1 or 2 dates a week and then spend the rest of the time with his kids. I don't think it would be out of the question for him to be able to spend a lot of time with his kids, but then maybe not work full time in wrestling anymore. So sort of like pop up every now and then, a bit like Jericho does for AEW. He's kind of shows up once every couple of weeks to cut a promo. He doesn't have many matches. I think New Japan and AEW are the two most likely places he would go. AEW because obviously means he can stay in America and stay close to his family, and New Japan because I think he's been saying for years now that he wanted to go work with New Japan, and he wanted to wrestle guys like Tanahashi, Okada, probably Hiromu Takahashi as well. Some of the new blood coming through. So I think for me, I don't think Bryan will ever retire of his own accord. I think if injuries catch up with him again, then I think maybe he'll stay retired that time because he's had his second chance. He's managed to come back from a literally career-ending injury, and he's given the WWE a damn fine 3 years of service again. He's been a main eventer almost the entire way through, despite they stuck him in a feud with Big Cass or Big Cass or whatever his name was. But yeah, I think there's no chance in my eyes he retires. Yet. He'll go off and he'll work New Japan. He'll go off and he'll work AEW. Maybe he'll go off and work Ring of Honor too. Then 5 years time, maybe then he'll decide to, when his kids are a little more grown up. Because at the minute, what's his daughter called? Birdie? She's like 5 now, something like that. And I'm sure I'm sure
The only,
he already spends a good deal of time with his kids.
the only problem I have with New Japan is they just had a newborn child, right? The same pregnant at the same time as Brie Bella's sister, pregnancy.
Nikki.
That's reality TV gold,
Mm.
right? Total Bellas will be all over that. They're probably already filming now, right?
Well, the thing is,
Um,
I just think Bryan doesn't really care.
what? He
Like,
doesn't care about his family? What? Are you mad?
no, he doesn't care about.
What?
No, he doesn't care about Total Divas or Total Bellas or whatever. He
I
doesn't
know,
care
but
about being in television.
they're gonna be all over that.
Yeah,
I
but
bet
he
that's
doesn't
gonna
work
be
for
a
the
fat
company anymore.
paycheck for Daniel.
Yeah, he doesn't work for the company. They won't pay him anything because he doesn't work for them. So why should he
Yeah,
stick around to be on television?
exactly. But if they have a story arc where they have like, oh, Brie Bella's sad because Daniel's off fighting Cody Rhodes or fighting in Japan, that's like I don't think it would work.
That
I'm
makes
seeing
good
it from that
television.
aspect.
No, that makes good
It
television.
doesn't. I don't want to see
If
that.
you add conflict, the conflict of Bryan being away from home, you add conflict that gives you something to build the show around, right? It's reality television. Reality television is
Yeah, but
built off of the idea of
Bryan's not
conflict
that
between the
person.
people.
Bryan's not
Bryan
that
being away
person.
can be the conflict in the show, Joe.
Like Batman killing a man. It doesn't
Well,
happen.
Batman wouldn't kill
That's not
someone though, but Bryan would
exactly.
go off and work New Japan.
He wouldn't know because he wouldn't leave his family. That's not. He's not the kind of guy to do that. I don't think he is anyway. But I don't agree. I don't think he will retire. But I don't think he'll go to Japan.
When I say he'll go to
That
Japan, I literally only mean for like 5 matches. I don't mean he's going to be like a full
yeah.
timer there. I mean he's going to go there. He's going to have like he's probably going to be on the exact same deal as what John Moxley is, where he has a match like once every 3 months. Like if he's off there for 3 days, then I don't think anyone's going to bat an eyelid because it's the same with Moxley. The longest Moxley spent in Japan was he worked the entire G1 and that was it. Like he was there for about a month and a half working the G1, and then when the G1 finished, he came home and then didn't work in New Japan for another 4 months, and he just worked AEW dates. So the chances are, if Bryan does go to New Japan, he's not going to be there for an extended period of time, like you seem to be suggesting, right? He's probably going to be there for about half a week, work one match, come back, be at home for a month, and then go back over and work another match. It's not like it's a long-term problem that he would be there because he'd be making a trip and then coming back. Because he wouldn't need to live in Japan to work a match, you know? He just takes the flight there. You know, you think of like all the American guys that used to go over to New Japan. If they were doing like a couple dates of a tour, they wouldn't work the full tour, would they? What they would do is they would go there, they would do the 2 dates, and they'd only be there for the 2 dates, and then they'd come back home. Like it's not a big problem him going to New Japan to work one match every month because it's only going to take up 2-3 days of his time at most.
well, wow. I must admit, I thought you were implying a long-term thing. So I guess you are right. But yeah,
The man's nearly 40. Why would he go and work a long-term deal with New Japan?
I think if we come back to this in 3-4 months, and we'll see who was closer. And that's the best
Mm,
of evaluate
fine.
it. Leave a like if you guys are excited.
Or just leave a like in general and subscribe. Do
Also
that while you're here.
Also, if you're watching this back in 4 months, how did you enjoy the new season of Total Bellas where Daniel
Yeah.
is
Leave a
pregnant?
comment. Leave a comment down below on either this video or the latest video that's just gone out, or both, because that will increase exposure.
Also, if you're listening to this on Spotify,
That means we
well,
made it, pretty much.
if you're listening to this on Spotify, how?
Yeah, actually how? Because either A, we made
How?
it, or B, you're lying. So it's got to be one of the two.
Or C, your dad is Bill Gates.
Well, Bill Gates doesn't own Spotify. Daniel Ek owns
That
Spotify.
my dad would.
Well, if your dad was Bill Gates, then your dad would be single. Topical reference, because Bill Gates split up with his wife the other week. Oh, yes.
What's that? What the fuck?
Well, he did, didn't he?
Can we just move on?
Yes, we can.
I'm
We'll
not looking
move
forward
on.
to the next episode, Total Gates. Where where
Total
Bill
Gates.
Gates is away.
Total Gates. It's just like a load of gates, isn't it?
Total Gates.
It's like Total Recall, but with gates. Anyway, we'll move on to our third segment, which is who would you consider the most iconic Intercontinental Champion or champions? So we'll do like a top three, because I know we did top three for something else and I can't remember what it was. We did top three 24/7 champions. We'll do the top three Intercontinental champions. How about that? How about them apples? Yeah. So number 3, Joe. Ooh, who do you think it is? Ooh.
Well, I only really had 2 in mind, so I guess
well.
number 3 will be anyone who wins, who's won
So
it
you're
in the past.
saying that Ryback could be number 3?
Yeah. Did he win? Yeah, he won it. Yeah.
He did, yes.
Actually, I'll tell
Who
you
else?
what.
Ahmed Johnson. There you go. That was number 3.
We'll leave number 3 on hold for now. We'll leave number 3 on hold. But
Okay. So
number 2, I
numero
think you know
dos.
who I'm gonna say. Don't you
Miz.
walk away from me, Daniel, the Miz. He is my number 2 because he's held it like what, 15 times?
Well, just like I think it's 9, which is equal to Chris Jericho's, but
Oh,
close
Chris
enough.
Jericho, that'd be my number 3.
There you go.
There we
But
go.
who's your number 1?
It is the Dragon, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
You probably could have executed that one a little better.
I was rushing, shut up.
The Dragon. Ricky the Dragon.
Ricky the
Ricky
Dragon.
the Dragon Steamboat. You just gone through all 3 of his like names there. You should have said just Ricky, then Ricky then Ricky the Dragon. Good
I
stuff,
think
mate.
I think the reason I just think of him is just because of the WrestleMania 3 match, which obviously
It is quite decent. If you haven't
yeah,
watched it, I'm like 90% sure that you can find it on the WWE YouTube channel.
well, it's probably free.
Yeah. Well, they put loads and loads of old matches up on the WWE YouTube channel, which is quite nice. Although they have just resorted to just putting like random Raw matches and like Great Balls of Fire main events and stuff on there. So the quality has dipped slightly in what you get out, but yeah, it's fine, you know. Anyway,
I'm trying to see how long he held the title.
Ricky only held it once.
Yeah, but wasn't it for like 2 years? Like he held it up.
No, it wasn't that long from memory. I think maybe it's because it was. I think when you think of that match, that's really the first like big representation of that match on a pay-per-view scale, because I couldn't tell you what the Intercontinental Championship match on WrestleMania 1 or 2 would have been. So I guess, that could, the one at 3 literally could be the first defense of it on WrestleMania. Who knows? Well, Google knows,
Googling
but
how long he held it for.
yeah. Ricky didn't hold it for long. I believe, Macho went in, Ricky won the belt, and then he dropped it a couple months later, just not to Macho, to somebody else.
You saying he didn't hold it for long?
Well, how long was it?
414 days.
Could you say that again? Sorry, I think your audio cut
Oh,
out.
414 days.
Yeah, around that kind of time, that wouldn't have been that long. I'm sure fucking Don.
That's the second longest
Oh, really?
reign.
Ah, is the
Can't look
longest
at the
like
list.
Don Morocco or something, or Ken
Probably.
Patera? Just think of like really old wrestlers who held it now. Ken Patera,
Actually,
Don
whoever
Morocco,
held it for longest can be my number 3. Here we go.
Bruno Sammartino. No, Bruno never won it. Who did win it?
Same for Honky Tonk Man.
Oh
Maybe.
yeah, Honky Tonk. Honky Tonk's definitely up
Is
there.
it Honky Tonk?
He,
Yeah, it's the
well, he's
Honky
not the
Tonk.
longest reigning, but he might. Oh, Honky
You
might
genuinely
actually
think?
be. Yeah, I thought he was. Yeah,
Oh my god, no. This is random.
he's a honk tonk man. He's cool. He's cocky. He's bad.
Oh no, never mind. I'm an idiot.
He's capping.
Copy.
But yeah. So my top
Oh, you go.
3. Ooh, number 3, the sexy boy, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels.
Okay, I want an explanation for this.
Yeah. When I think of
I'm on the edge of
the Intercontinental Championship, I think Michaels is one of the first names that pops in curve. I think, yeah, he disappeared for a while off TV while he was still IC champion. So he had to come back and do one of those in WWE history, which is cool. Yeah, I think Shawn held it, but he's like that. He could count as honourable mentions. I'd put like Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. Definitely put them in honourable mentions. Even, you know, even Stone Cold could go in a good feud with Owen Hart over it. God rest his soul. But I think Michaels is one of the standout guys from like the New Gen era when it comes to the IC Championship. Because when I think of the IC Championship in the New Gen, and we're back, thankfully. I don't know how much of what I was saying got caught, but yeah. What was the last thing you heard me say? Sorry, by the way, obviously the sound cut out again.
I only heard you say. I think you just finished up with Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I was saying like
About to get
when I think of the New Gen, I think of Michaels and Diesel as IC champions, but Diesel's shit, so I went with Michaels instead. Well, Diesel was shit at the time. Obviously, I love Kevin Nash now because he's an incredibly based individual. But
I'll tell you what, that was a
yeah, I
really
think
good
Michaels is a strong
third.
shout for third. You can make an argument for him being second or first, even. I think I am understating what he did for the belt somewhat. I think he held it, 4 or 5 times. He is the go-to guy when I think of IC champion, or one of at least, because obviously there's two that I would think of first, and they are number 2 is I've gone with Chris Jericho. I think obviously Jericho's held it the most amount of times, 9. I think the only reason I don't put Jericho first is because when I think of the IC Championship, I don't immediately associate it with him. I think
Yeah, I
if I
agree.
think about it a little more, then I'll think of, obviously Jericho, as I have. But I do think of Shawn first, But in terms of how important they are to the championship, I think Jericho is more important in the modern era than Shawn was in the new gen. I think Shawn, his biggest impact in the new gen came when he was either WWE champion or was challenging for the WWE championship, you know? I think Jericho, his biggest impact in WWE, at least in the modern kind of era, is when he is the IC champion, you know, during the invasion and stuff. Yeah, he's feuding with everybody, pretty much. He's always in the back of your mind in the Attitude Era. He's just he's just the best example I think you could give for an IC champion, really. At least in the Attitude Era, you know, in the Attitude Era being one of the most iconic periods in wrestling. He's just got to go in there somewhere, you know. But number one, I've thought long and hard about this, and honestly, it's got to be Ryback. No, I'm joking. It's Curtis Axel. No, I'm joking as well.
Oh,
Obviously,
you got me twice. You got me twice.
yeah,
Oh,
bit of Ryback action. But no, obviously, it has to be the Miz for me.
oh, he is
You
your
know,
Intercontinental Champion.
he's my Intercontinental Champion. You know, I've spoken about multiple times.
I was
Uh,
scared to put the Miz first. That's what I did. I did Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, man, instead of the Miz.
Oh, I was just like, oh, he's gonna make fun of me if I put the Miz first, and you've anything, you
No,
kind of done it.
well,
Oh,
like for me nowadays, if I don't know who the Intercontinental Champion is, I just assume it's the Miz. Like that's how much of an
I
impact
think
he's
the
had
Miz
on
is
that
Dolph
title.
Ziggler
Like it's either him or Ziggler.
or
But
Biggie.
I don't like Ziggler, but I do like the Miz. As obviously, you know, we spoke about the Miz last week, and we spoke about how fucking good he was.
Is
Mate, he's good. He's good
he's
on the
good.
mic. He's the best in that ring, on that microphone. Hey, that's CM Punk, isn't it? Oh well. Oh well. Um. Yeah, you know, I think he is. He has very. I don't want to say quickly because it has taken him a long time, but he has, in recent times, become one of the best workers in almost all aspects on that roster. You know, he's probably one of the safest pair of hands in the company, and he's certainly the safest on the mic. You know, he's just one of them kind of guys where it's like, yeah, you know, he without him in the Intercontinental Championship picture in the last 5 years, you know, even probably more like 8 now. I'd say even 10, really. Without The Miz in and around the IC Championship picture, I don't think the IC Championship would still be held in as high a regard as it is. I think he's genuinely done miracles to keep that title as relevant as he has. And yeah, he said it himself. It was the most relevant title in the company when he gave the Talking Smack interview, and it was because of the work that he and Ziggler were doing, you know? And I think the only clear answer for me has to be The Miz for who is the best IC champion of all time.
Wow. I definitely agree with your list more.
So why'd you
Than
put
yeah.
Ricky first then?
I just thought, oh, if I do, well, I was going to do Cody Rhodes as well.
You thought you'd be a
Because
smart ass. Got some like old guy there, just like, oh yeah, look at me, I watch old wrestling.
Ricky the. Oh, I still think Ricky the Dragon is that. I
Oh
think some
yeah, he's up there, but
he is up
I,
there, but I feel like
I
I'm not
wouldn't.
cultured enough in the championship. Like obviously, I should have thought of Chris Jericho um, straight away, but I guess didn't. I no longer associate him with WWE that much, really.
Yeah, no, I think that was my problem with it really as well. I don't really associate him too much with the company anymore. Which I
But
guess that's what he wants, you know. He's
yeah,
off doing his thing, making shit music with Fozzy.
I like Judah. I seen it. I
I hate
listened to one of their.
Judas.
I started listening to their albums, and there was a song called like Bear Trap or something. Iron
Oh.
Bear. It was bad. It was.
Well, yeah, you're listening to a fucking Fozzy, mate.
I'm not a hardcore rock guy,
Yeah.
but see, when I listen to music, I'm more like the person behind it.
Yeah, you listen to musicals.
Not all the time. You're baiting me out. We're going to become the musical, the
I'm
map.
not. You can't. You can become a map, mate. I'm steering well clear of that.
Next week we're reviewing. Oh shit! I just realised the maps. Oh god.
Yeah.
Oh fucking
Hey,
hell.
you can be a map
I'm
all you
sorry.
want, mate.
Oh
You do
no.
whatever you want, fella.
Oh, the state of that. Oh no. This is no instance of Joe not thinking before he speaks. But no, right. Next week we're reviewing
Joe
Wicked,
just
everyone.
exposing himself live on air. Well, not live,
Can we fucking
but
move on,
on that
please?
bombshell,
I,
we move over to our. Well, we move over to the
oh,
second section of the show, don't
we
we? We
doing me
move over
now?
to
Yeah.
the pop culture segment, I
Well,
guess.
I've changed
Uh,
all my topics.
but we'll have
So it,
a cheeky little segment at the end. I'm
I'm going
sure
to do the
everyone will
quiz
be looking
first, then I'm
forward
going to do
to.
the.
But yeah, move over to your pop culture one, Joe. What do you have to offer for us on
Right,
this? Well, the
we're gonna do
video's
the
going up
quiz
Tuesday,
first.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night. It will be Tuesday. The tap, everyone. So today's quiz, we all look forward to it. Last week we got him, we caught him out, um, and we hope to do it again today. Uh, so Marvel has about 10,000 characters, and them 10,000 characters all have the name A,
Now, I don't mean to
and then
interrupt
B.
you if you are currently speaking, Joe, but there is no audio coming through for you other than the
Oh
occasional
shit! Hang
half a
on.
second of noise. So
No, no wonder you kept interrupting me.
that might just be me, to be fair. Um,
Can you hear
probably.
me now? No, I could hear it. Hello? Yeah. No. Okay.
There we go. I'm back.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, I can hear you
Right.
again now. Yes.
Right. Cut all that out. Intro again. Right. So right now we're doing the true or false game. We caught Jack out last week, so we hope to do it again this week. Now Marvel, it has like 1,000 characters, and all them 1,000 characters are just in the A. Like they're just A names. They have millions and millions of characters, all from different universes. Some of them are really shit. So I've gone for the most obscure, and for this one, when I made up fake names, I had to Google if they were real, and some of them were. So it was just how hard this quiz was to make. So I hope you all appreciate the work I put into this. So are we ready?
Well, hopefully, as long as I don't disconnect halfway through.
Oh God, this. Oh no, a quiz wouldn't keep disconnected. Okay. So the first one is Ruby Thursday.
Ruby Thursday, did you say?
Ruby Thursday.
Oh God. I can't even say definitively whether that's true or false. I'm gonna say true. You know, that sounds real.
That is true. Um, she she's just a woman with a big red orb on her head. It's like
It would be a
a mix
ruby, wouldn't
between
it?
it's like a mix between Stereo and Electra. It's very, very weird. I don't know what her powers are, but I know what she looks like.
Powers are that she
Next
has
is
giant
Dark
rubies.
Spirit.
Dark spirit. Oh. Um. I'm gonna say fake.
It is fake.
That's what I thought.
I just got up a name generator. That came. Next
Yeah,
is
that name
Daggers.
sounds. What was that? Sorry.
Aqua Daggers. Sorry.
Aqua daggers.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh God. I'm gonna say no.
That is correct.
Three, 3 for 3. Come on.
That is another random generated name. Next is Reptile.
Reptile. What's he repping? I'm gonna say yes. That sounds like one of them dinosaur fellas.
Yeah. He's not come to the comics that much, but he was in the Marvel Superhero Squad show. He was one of my favorite characters as a kid, and
Right.
there's a new comic series coming out of him in like 2 weeks, and I'm definitely going to buy that because one of my favorite characters. So yeah, that is correct.
He
Uh,
sounds like he would have been part of what's the what's the doctor who turns himself into a dinosaur called Sauron? Sounds like he would be affiliated with Sauron. Obviously, not the Lord of the Rings
maybe,
character.
but no, I think the only comics he's really been in is like the Avengers Academy stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, next is you might know this one because he is iconic crap, but Forget Me Not.
Well, I mean, you kind of gave away that it was true,
Oh shit, yeah.
so I'm gonna have to go
But
with that.
why the fuck did I? Oh, such a...
You, you silly
You would
bastard.
have got it anyway. Everyone knows Forget Me. He's an X-Men character with the ability to be forgotten. Um, so basically, his entire power is forget about him.
It's a good one.
Which I came up with the concept on TikTok the other day. I was commenting on this guy's video on it, and I thought they could do a cool comic series where like he becomes like a police officer, right? And he like goes to buy drugs like from the mafia or something, and he like catches them out, and then like he doesn't even have to go into witness protection because they'll forget about him.
It just sounds.
That would be good.
It just sounds like
Like
he just. It
get me
sounds
on
like
the
he just has the
get me on
powers
the
of
writing
the
team.
neuralizer from Men in Black. Like he's just a
Pretty,
giant walk. He's a walking neuralizer.
pretty much, but like just people forget about him. It's pretty pointless.
Hey, forget about it. And so
Anyway,
they did.
the the next character is Red Catman.
What was that? Red Cap Man or Red Cat Man?
Red Catman. I don't know if it's cut out
Fuck's
or
sake.
you're just taking a stance.
Yeah. Well. Um. I'm gonna say that's false.
Correct. That is again new generator comes on.
Cheeky little name
Right.
generator.
Next is buried alien. Is it cut out? Or
It did,
you-
yeah. Sorry.
Okay. Buried alien.
Berry Daisy, did you say?
Buried alien.
Berry Daily. Oh, sounds like one of the fucking. Sounds like one of the Inhumans. Yeah, I'd say that's true.
Correct. It's not an inhuman. It's actually Barry Allen. So when it's from an old Quasar comic. And basically it was when Barry Allen, basically the DC universe.
Oh, yeah.
I think he like got lost in dimensions, and he went through the Quasar into a Quasar comic, and he basically cemented himself as the fastest man alive in the Marvel universe, and he couldn't remember his name. So buried alien Barry Allen, fastest man alive. Next is Mighty Mamba.
Mighty Mamba. Oh, I think that's. Oh God, I'm. Is Mighty Mamba? No, Mighty Mamba's fake. I think because the only either Mighty Mamba is fake or Mighty Mamba is one of the snakes that I can't remember the name of. There's like Diamondback, Cottonmouth, and I guess in this scenario, Mighty Mamba. But I'm gonna say fake because I'm not 100% sure on that.
It is fake. I think you're thinking of maybe Black Mamba. But I'm not sure what you're thinking really. This is what I think. Um, right, next one. Dollar Bill. I think
Bloody hell, this one's not going well, is it? 'Cause I can't hear you again.
not not at all. Can you hear me? God.
Might just have to call this one episode 10 gone wrong
Hello? Can you hear me?
in the hood, 3 a.m. That'll
Yeah.
get views and clicks.
I think it may be a problem on your end. Chat. There we go. Oh. And then I said, what are you doing? And then basically everyone laughed, cheered, and Jack did come
It's a good story, mate. It's a good story.
to the store and you gotta leave that in.
Too late, mate. It's going in.
No, I said you gotta leave it in. I just
Oh.
started like the end of the story. Right, anyway,
You
dollar
can,
bill.
you can tell the connection
Sure.
is primo today. Bloody hell.
Oh God, it's bad. It's bad. I might go on my data in it, just in case it's. But next up is dollar bill.
Dollar bill. Got the cheddar. I think he's real.
Yeah, that is true. I
Easy,
think
mate.
he's basically Batman. He's just got money. Uh,
Fair enough. His superpower is he's rich.
exactly.
I can get
Not
on
even
board
his
with that.
money. He inherited it. Well, I guess Batman inherited
It's his dead mum's money. Good stuff.
his. Final one. This is all to play for. Skin.
Ooh. Skin's real.
Yep.
Skin is an X-Men character. Her power
Yeah.
is Skin's power is that she can shed her skin and she's got like metal, I guess she's got like a metal body underneath her actual skin, isn't it? Or am I thinking of someone else?
Yeah. That's pretty much just skin. Should we get up the
Easy, mate.
exact synopsis?
The plot synopsis of the character, yeah.
Right, here we go. You say power. There we go. Oh, I think there are two different skins.
Oh no.
Well, they're both correct anyway. But
Yeah.
one is basically like Mr. Fantastic, and I guess you're thinking of another one.
Yeah. I could be
But
wrong, there might be called something else, but I knew there was one called Skin.
no, I thought you were right because the picture it did look like there was a bit of metal in there. But I've got a male character now.
Oh.
Hang on. We'll get to the bottom of this. Don't you worry, folks. Is that a man? Yeah, that's a man. They are grey
Well,
though.
you can never be too sure, Joe, you know. You can't be going around
Well, yeah.
assuming people's genders.
Well, they got a beard, so
Well,
more than likely.
that doesn't give you free liberty to
Then again, you are right because it's the X-Men. They have always been political.
a bit quirky.
Well, sort of, yeah. But I think the mutants were created because of the civil rights issues
Oh.
uh, in the 60s.
Yeah,
So my mouth is
it was
very
to do
dry,
with
so
it
I
was to
am
do
slurring.
with like racism and stuff in the 60s, yeah.
Fuck me, my mouth is really
Civil
dry. Yeah,
rights. Oh no.
civil. Right, next topic is the Venom Let There Be Carnage trailer. Now I watched this very briefly whilst on a break in work, so I may not. So I'll let you take the reins on this one, and I'll give my because
Oh,
I haven't
well.
seen it properly. But
Hmm.
I did watch it.
Uh, yeah, well, see, the thing is, I did watch it, but I didn't really absorb much of the information of what was actually happening
Oh, for
because
fuck's sake! So we both did the same.
pretty much, I did watch it.
Right.
Like,
Well, here we go. No, this is interesting because a lot of people are going to be doing shot by shot analysis,
yeah,
and we're
we're
going
just
to
going
do
off of
our
like what
lazy,
we vaguely remember.
not paying attention
Exactly.
review.
Pretty
So
much, it started with Venom making Eddie some breakfast, and I think
yeah,
he
and
sprayed him
then he
with ketchup.
squirted in the ketchup.
Yeah.
And that was a lot of breakfast on that plate though. Like no, well I guess
Well,
it's
yeah,
also
because it's Venom, innit?
does
He
Venom eat?
eats a lot. Yeah.
Does Venom
Well,
eat eggs? No, he eats people,
well,
but does he eat eggs?
he can eat in general. He just eats things. It's just he also eats people because they have a lot of energy.
He's like buried alien, the Flash. Yeah, consume so
Yeah, he
many
does.
calories a day.
Exactly.
Uh,
He's a hungry
Triggers
fella.
metabolism.
He's a growing boy.
But no, so then they basically go to a shop
They do.
and
That
then
does
like
happen.
Venom's grabbing shit and like saying hi and stuff. Venom's a lot more
Chill,
not really articulate, but he's a lot more like
normal.
in there.
I think the best way to describe him is he's trying to blend in a little bit in that like he's acting more human now
Yeah,
rather than symbiote.
I feel like they're going for more of a like I feel like they're going for more like a Groot character where he's like really strong, really powerful, but he's funny, you know. Um, I feel like that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. I think. Oh, just knocked my mic. I think the reason they're doing this is because they want to make him feel more relatable and to make him feel like a parallel to Carnage. Because I mean, we didn't really get to see a lot of Carnage as the symbiote. Like we saw the bit at the end, where he's like, "Rar, I am Carnage." But other than that, we didn't really see anything from him. Like we got Woody Harrelson while he's in prison playing. He's playing Carnage. I can't remember what his human one is called.
Oh, I was hoping you remembered. It's on the noggin, but
Yeah, I can vaguely remember it, but
I'm
not
thinking of
enough to
Drake
give you a
Bell for
definitive.
some reason. Is it Drake
It's
something?
not Drake Bell. I'll tell you that.
It's gonna take some time to. Looks like
Drake and Josh, Venom and Carnage. No, it's I can't
horrible.
remember. It might have been something like
I'll
Quentin,
Google.
just not Quentin Beck. But anyway, yeah, we didn't really see a lot of it,
Quentin.
but I feel like the reason they're making Venom seem more human in his actions, at least, is to use him as a parallel against Carnage.
Yeah.
Sort of like, here's an example of a good symbiote to compare it to. I mean, obviously we had a bad symbiote in the last one, but like a more bad symbiote this time, I guess.
Cletus Cassidy.
That's the one, Cletus. Cletus Cassidy.
Don't know why I was Drake Bell.
I thought it was Quentin for some reason, but obviously Quentin is the other one. The one with the globe on his head that I can't remember. Mysterio.
Why do characters called Cletus always have ginger hair?
I couldn't tell you that, mate.
I
I
was
don't
thinking of
design.
Cletus from The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's what I thought of as well. I don't design cartoons or comics, so I couldn't really tell you, to be honest.
Oh shit,
I'm not Rob Layfold, so
I don't know.
I think it was. Would it have been Layfold or would it have been McFarlane that would have done Carnage actually? Because no, it would have been
Uh,
McFarlane because Carnage was 93 and that was right before the Clone Saga. So yeah, that would have been McFarlane before he left to join Image. There you go. See, my comic book knowledge is good enough.
I
I know my
killed myself.
I know my time period here. Um,
I just said fallen.
right. Um,
Sorry. Allow
it's not Seth MacFarlane. It's Todd McFarlane, the
We are
guy
Venom,
behind
aren't we?
Spawn and other things. Well, yeah, it was Todd McFarlane.
Lois
It
would
was
be
Todd
Carnage.
McFarlane that designed. Todd McFarlane designed Venom, so I'm sure he probably did Carnage as well.
Oh, Peter. That'd be...
Hey Lois, this is
I want
just
to see
like
it.
the time I turned myself into the symbiote. Hey, freaking sweet.
You know how Family Guy did the Family Guy Star Wars, the Blue Harvest? I feel like they need to do that
Yeah,
with Venom.
I'm just gonna do that for Venom.
Yeah.
Good.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah. Um, what else is there really to say? You see his girlfriend from the first film again, briefly.
Yay.
There was some fighting in it, but I can't really remember it much.
It was very dark. And
Yes, the one thing I did notice about the trailer was it was very dark, but I
I
guess
was like,
in
I was
terms of
squinting. I was
lighting,
like,
yeah, in terms of lighting, I think the first film was very poorly lit as well. Well, I say poorly lit. I mean poorly lit in terms of it's very dark, but it
that's what I
is
don't like
quite
about the
similar.
non-MCU superhero films. They're so
Yeah,
dark.
they're all very dark, aren't they?
Like, Batman, like that's meant to be dark. I
Yeah,
understand that,
but
but
then Shazam,
even that was pretty bright
yeah, you look at something like
compared to
Shazam.
like the
Shazam, for
Fantastic
the
Four.
most part, once you get to like the ending segments of Shazam, that film is not pretty to look at. Like it's very, it becomes very DCEU in how it looks. Like, it's just like a lot of brown and grey rather than the nice bright colours that you would expect from a film about
A
a
child.
literal child as a superhero. Yeah, but but yeah, I think this one's probably going to suffer from a similar problem to what a lot of Sony's superhero films do, which is it's going to look a bit shit. And if it's anything like the last Venom film, it's probably just going to be shit as well.
I think the reason it's so dark is just to cover up for like CGI.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that is the obvious. No,
uh,
that's the obvious reason, isn't it?
so obviously they don't want to spend most of like the budget just to make Venom
Yeah,
look as shit or whatever.
yeah.
Like, it's probably something Marvel would do. I mean,
Guys, we
like
spent the
we've seen the
entire
Endgame
CG budget
battle.
on.
Like,
We spent the entire CG budget on photorealistic shit, guys. Oh no!
like you look at the
We can
MCU. They didn't have
turn
to
the
have
brightness
Howard the
down.
Duck and 10 million ships in the bloody final battle of Endgame. Spoiler, but it's been 2 years, so get over it.
I was gonna say, like, if you really worry about
Iron
Endgame
Man's dead.
spoilers in 2021, who gives a fuck?
I got spoiled. So
Good.
don't do it. Who are spoiled?
I didn't get spoiled from
I
for
got spoiled for
Endgame. I
Infinity
did
War
get
and Endgame.
yeah, I got spoiled for
I'm
Infinity
not
War, but I
spoiling
didn't
for
get
it.
spoiled for Endgame. But like the Infinity War spoilers I got weren't that bad. I think like I just learned like one or two characters didn't survive, and I was like, oh, okay, they're ones I didn't expect to survive anyway. But back to a different Marvel film. Yeah. From first looks, I think it looks like it will be a little better than Venom, the original one.
Yeah,
However, I don't have full confidence that this will be a quote unquote good film. I think what this will be is a decent sequel because Venom the film is already very low down, so it's quite hard to go any lower. And hopefully, what they'll do is they'll take all the criticism they got from the first one and how it felt like it was taking itself way too seriously at points and then was just stupid the next minute. Hopefully, they'll take like points from that and try and keep a more established baseline of what the film wants to be rather than trying to be serious and then trying to be funny one scene after the other because it just doesn't work. So hopefully this one can fix some of them kind of problems. Hopefully like the scripting is better, the CG. God, I hope the CG is better. Because for a big budget release like Venom to have CG as bad as what it does really grinded my gears. But yeah,
yeah. I,
um
I pretty much just share this thing.
yeah.
So,
Ultimately all it has to be is not as bad as the first one and I call it a success. I'm probably gonna go see it. It's probably the first Marvel film
yeah,
I've said, yeah, I'll probably go see it in quite a while. But yeah,
I'm
you know,
different, but you know me. I'm like Bloody
Yeah, he's a big consumer. Yeah, big consumer.
I'm excited for
But
Shang-Chi. There, I said it.
uh, yeah, all right,
Well, I've read the Shang-Chi. I like.
mate.
I'll tell you what, I'm excited. I'm excited for MODOK, but we'll probably talk about that the week.
Yeah, we'll talk about that closer to when it comes out. But yeah, Venom. Like I say, I'm probably gonna go see this because I went and I saw the first Venom film in cinemas. Pretty much, I spent probably a good like 3/4 of that film covering my face with my hands,
You were
like
scared,
just
yeah.
in like no, in embarrassment. I was watching it and I was embarrassed for them because it was. Like, I felt embarrassed having paid money to see that film. It was shocking. It was shocking. The
All it needed
only
to be
parts
was
of it I
the
enjoyed.
jump scare in Lego Marvel Superhero. That could have
Yeah,
been the
yeah,
entire film.
yeah. Honestly, the only part of that film I enjoyed was the fight sequence on the bike. I hated the rest of it. It was
That was like
bad,
the
bro.
only fight sequence. That was it.
Exactly. Well, no, because there's the one in the building where they try and gas him or something, and then there's the one on
Yeah.
the rocket ship, which is crap, and then that's sort of really it. Like for a film about like a big murderous gloopy monster, there's not a lot of murdering or gloopiness going on.
Like if I wanted to see Eddie Brock, I would have watched Eddie Brock. Like I don't. I want to watch
Yeah,
Venom.
I want to watch
Him
Venom,
kicking
not
ass.
Eddie Brock the movie. Exactly.
That's what I feel like. Like Deadpool suffered from. There wasn't enough action.
Well, Deadpool suffered
Like,
from a lot of things, namely not being very funny, but
it wasn't.
especially the second
I
one. The
hate
second one
people who
felt like
say
it
it's
was trying
funny.
hard so
Oh, we'll
much.
talk about Deadpool next week. That's just
Yeah,
gonna be an entire
we'll
episode.
talk about Deadpool, and we'll probably talk about
It
Deadpool
is
3 as
my
well.
personal Ricochet. Everyone.
Yeah, it's not good. But
Anyway, let's move on.
yeah, we'll move on
Unless you want
to.
to say anything.
I don't really have anything else to say. I just hope it'll be good, or at least better than the first one.
What I wanted for this next segment, it's about South Park, everyone, and I don't really explain it, but I wanted it to be sort of like the tier list thing. Um, so I want to basically get your top 3 episodes, and I'll get my top 3 episodes.
I couldn't give you top 3. I don't know any episodes off the top of my head. I haven't watched
Oh,
South Park in years, mate.
um,
Like,
well,
the Game of Thrones ones were okay,
they were good, yeah.
and the one where Stan gets Asperger's I thought was okay, and that's about it.
Right, well, I'll tell you
I,
what then, because
I think I might have said
my
it.
list was
I
a
might
bit
have
too
said it
boring.
before, but I don't like South Park very much.
Oh,
Genuinely, I do quite dislike South Park. I think
well,
a
why haven't
lot
you
of the
told me
modern
now
stuff
when I
is
suggested the thing?
bad. Well, I
I'll tell
thought
you what
you were
we'll do
gonna just
instead.
talk about it in general because I have a lot to talk about it in
No.
general. But in terms of like top 3 episodes, I could give you about I could name 2 episodes. There's the one with the Pokemon. Like I know that one.
I'll tell you what. I'll get a top 10 list, but we'll go through the top 5, and I'll say see if you've seen it. Right. So, are there number 5? They got the losing edge. I think most people have seen this episode. Um, it's basically the one.
Well, that's the end of the podcast. Quite abrupt finish, unfortunately. Again, like I say, out of my control. Discord went down for UK servers literally as I was recording. I'm not the only person affected. I'm sure there's others as well. But yeah. Obviously, we didn't get to do the special segment that I mentioned. But we'll save that for next week because we were talking about this afterwards. We felt it wouldn't feel right for me to just voice over it now. So we'll save it for next week. But it'll be a segment on each duplicate of 10. So the next segment after the one for next week will be in episode 20. Maybe that'll give you a clue as to what the segment is. Who knows? But anyway, guys, thank you for sitting through that. I know it would have been tough. Yeah, see you guys next week for episode 11, where hopefully we won't have all these problems again. Bye bye now.